Ah, I guess we're gonna. I guess we're going to do this without a 30-second countdown because I hit the wrong button. I'll hit the standby screen for everybody joining this morning just so everybody can hop in. But thanks so much for joining the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. Standby. 10 seconds. All right, that wasn't 10 seconds, but that's good enough. Thanks so much for stopping by the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank, where we usually have a 30-second countdown to make sure that everybody joins in at the same time. But today, I hit the wrong button. It's a Tuesday, folks, and sometimes you hit the wrong button on a Tuesday. Thanks again for stopping by the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank. Priority checking is made easy at Century Next Bank. Visit one of their locations in Monroe, West Monroe, Ruston, or across Ashley County to learn more. Hopefully you're having a great Tuesday morning, and hopefully you haven't pressed any wrong buttons on the start to your day. If you did not join us yesterday, as you take a look at some of the temperatures across the area this morning, of course, the forecast for many select cities and surrounding areas at the bottom of your screen. But if you didn't join us yesterday, you didn't really miss much because, again, not a lot's happening across the area, and surprise, surprise, not a whole lot happening across the area again today or for the rest of the week. But be sure to join in and say hello this morning. Good morning on YouTube to Dendro Pyro. I love YouTube sign-in names. We can all get creative with those. Just make sure they're family friendly before I read them off. I will read over them. I will see them in the chat and I'll go, is that? Yeah, that's good. Anyway, look at temperatures across the area this morning. Again, this morning's forecast made possible by ServPro with 3 locations across the area: Shreveport, Monroe, West Monroe, and Natchez to serve you. Visit servpro.com for more. I'm looking to the left-hand side on this screen to look at some of our morning lows this morning. And again, these are not official low temperatures in most locations where we're seeing the 30s and the 40s. In fact, a lot of areas got cooler than this. Remember, sun's rising a little bit earlier, so by 7:25 in the morning, the sun's rising and the temperatures are warming. Some of the unofficial lows for the day: ULM at 41.7 this morning, Eris 38.8, Colfax 38.1, Natchez, Louisiana at 37.4, Jonesboro at 37.8, Columbia at 36.6, Manny at 34.9 to start the day, Winfield at 36.5 to start the day. Carolyn, good morning to you. So those are a look at some of those unofficial morning lows. Those were checked out by the Louisiana Mesonet, which is operated by the University of Louisiana Monroe. They have observation stations all across the area, and that gives us a better idea of how legitimate some of these morning lows are. Again, 44 currently in Monroe. These are not low temperatures that you're seeing on the screen. These are current temperatures. 41 in El Dorado, 47 in Bastrop, 42 in Lake Providence. The dew points are relatively dry, generally in the 30s and 40s. Obviously, if you're going to see temperatures in the 30s and 40s, you're going to need dew points in the 30s and 40s. A lot of clear skies across the area today, and the dry air allows us to warm up pretty nicely this afternoon. Visibility is not an issue for us. Tomorrow morning, we could see some fog on the outskirts of the area, maybe some valley fog, river valley fog as well. Just depending on location. Carolyn and Susie, good morning to you as well, and thanks so much for joining in. But I think most of what we see tomorrow morning is low clouds. I think the computer models are hinting that it's fog, but it's actually just shallow moisture, and I think they're getting kind of confused on what it is. I think it's just going to be more low clouds that kind of roll back in tomorrow morning. Wind speeds are not much of an issue. In fact, they're rather calm. If we do catch a breeze today, it'll likely be out of the southeast, and they should pick up a little bit this afternoon as our high-pressure center at the surface continues to kind of wash out and move east. Again, when high pressure sits right over the top of us, air wants to move from high pressure to low pressure to kind of balance itself out in the atmosphere. So air at the surface tends to move kind of out, down and out, if you will, associated with a high pressure center. And with a low pressure center, it tends to move in and up. So you've got sinking air that's moving outward from a high pressure center, which usually means that you're going to have fairly light winds at the base of it, and that's kind of what we ran into yesterday. Jan, good morning to you. Little high pressure, low pressure 101 this morning. But as that moves east and becomes a little bit more limited and a little bit weaker, our winds should kind of pick up out of the south and southeast today. There's the low clouds that I was hinting at tomorrow morning. Futurecast kind of joining in on the party and kind of advertising that as we go through the morning hours tomorrow. Again, as I mentioned, some computer models are suggesting that could actually be more fog. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be more low clouds across the region, but it is something that we'll watch nonetheless. And you can also see a weak boundary approaching from the northwest, as I mentioned. A lot of what we're seeing in the next couple of days, kind of weak cold fronts moving through. So clouds will increase, and then the sunshine kind of wins over through the afternoon. Same story for Thursday. Some low clouds to start, and then kind of mixing out, and sunshine winning over through the afternoon. We'll bring our next cold front in on Friday. This one actually could bring somewhat of a cool down this weekend. It's not a dramatic cool down, but it sets the stage for the even stronger cold front behind it. That'll move through late Saturday and early Sunday. That actually brings a cool down with it. And of course, Futurecast is always made possible by Bayou Power Sports, I-20 Frontage Road in Monroe. Youth ATV and side-by-side stock is limited this year, so they have Polaris, Honda, and Yamaha youth off-road vehicles. Go see Mike and the folks today, and as always, tell them that I sent you, and they may ask you to leave. So Futurecast shows, again, that approaching cold front on Saturday, and then I want to show you the 6 to 10-day temperature and precip outlook because these cold fronts make a difference in terms of temperatures. Again, if you looked at these maps yesterday or the day before, I've been showing them to you because there's not a whole lot else to show, but if you looked at these the last couple of days, we've trended above average temperature-wise. In the 8 to 14-day outlook, we're still trending above average temperature-wise. But at least there's this little gray area, which means equal chances of being above, below, or at average in the 6 to 10-day time frame. So that's what that cold front kind of does for us early parts of next week. What it does not do for us is bring us a lot of promising rain chances. In fact, the precip outlook in the 6 to 10-day outlook still shows us drier than normal and a pretty high confidence at that. That doesn't mean we won't see rain. It just means that the likelihood of seeing any kind of significant rain or being above average rain-wise is pretty low. And to kind of piggyback off of that, here's a look at the forecast rainfall over the next 7 days. This is the official forecast from the Weather Prediction Center. And again, it does not have a lot of good news. Not a lot of good news at all. We stay very dry over the next 7 days. Maybe some sprinkles Friday, especially along the Mississippi Valley. Maybe a few light sprinkles late Saturday as the cold front moves through. But that's about all I got for you. Daytime highs today will top back out in the low to mid-70s. Still plenty of sunshine. Winds will return to the south-southeast, but they will be rather light today, so don't expect much of a breeze. It's not like it's miserable outside. Should be another beautiful day. Again, the dry side of things is a bummer for those that need the rainfall, but if you're just looking for some outdoor activities and looking for a decent forecast for that, thumbs up there. Lows tonight will fall back into the mid to upper 40s. Clear skies, but not as chilly as it's been. Again, we started the week in the 30s for morning lows. Today it was a mix of 30s and 40s. Tomorrow, firmly, generally in the 40s. So afternoon highs gradually warming a little bit. Morning lows gradually warming a little bit as we set the stage for the rest of the week. 7-day forecast shows back near 80 as early as Wednesday. I think most of us will flirt with the 80-degree mark by Thursday and continue it Friday, Saturday. And I know you're saying, wasn't there supposed to be a cold front on Friday? Yeah. And it brings temperatures generally back into the upper 70s to near 80 on Saturday, maybe a degree or two cooler. The Saturday-Sunday cold front, that's what brings the cool down. It kind of brings us closer to normal. Highs near 70, maybe even below normal for a brief period of time early next week with highs in the 60s, lows in the 40s. That's a long way out from now, so obviously we'll fine-tune the forecast between now and then. Lisa says the barometric pressure is really high, too. Yes, high pressure. That is, when we talk about high pressure, that's what we're talking about, high barometric pressure. Sitting at the surface, pressure rises in the wake of a cold front. It falls ahead of a cold front. Pressure tendencies do a lot of things. A lot of folks, if you I don't know the science to this, but a lot of folks, if they have migraines and stuff like that, the barometric pressure tends to kind of make those worse, and so they can sometimes pick up on those types of things ahead of time. So yeah, it's barometric pressure. It is one of the driving forces in our atmosphere. It's one of the main reasons why air moves. Simply put, the pressure gradient force. We talk about that a lot. So thanks so much for everybody that hopped in and said hello. Quite a few folks joining us at 7:30 on a Tuesday morning. Of course, if you are joining us for the first time, we do this typically 3 times a day. I'll join you again at midday with a look at the forecast. If you are joining this late, you're going, he's already went through all the forecast. I missed it all. This stream will end shortly. The video will format through its social media accounts, and then it will be back out there for your viewing pleasure. And then at that point, you can skip through all of this stuff that I sit here and ramble and on and on and on, and you can skip through and get the information that you need, which is pretty important. Although, weather is not that big of a huge weather headline because there's just not a lot going on. Again, Too Long Didn't Read comes out at 9:30 this morning. I will have, which your Too Long Didn't Read, for those that aren't familiar, is your weather in 30 seconds. Weather for people who need to know about the weather but don't necessarily want to know about the weather. So we'll have that out at 9:30, midday stream. And we'll go from there. I'm just now realizing I haven't taken the computer monitor stickers off of all these monitors. I'll do that later today too. And then we'll have your live stream this evening, fish and game forecast, all that good stuff on this Tuesday. Of course, forecast is always available at digitalweatherdesk.com. Claudia, Janet, good morning to you. And you can download the Digital Weather Desk app, available for Apple and Android users. And I will join you here in just a little bit. As always, I'm so glad you're here, and thanks so much for stopping by the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank.